Everybody, please mute your audio. Everybody, please mute your audio. Wait for
Good morning.
yes. Good morning, all of you. We will wait for the first and foremost thing. What I want to say is the importance of English language in an engineer's life. So you have joined the engineering college because you have a focused career, right? So many of you must be thinking, why is English class given in our routine? Why is English class so important? So I would just like to have a discussion on what is the importance of English language in your life. Right. So before I start discussing, I will like to like you all to add some points to it. Means why do you feel? Why do all of you feel? Means how do you feel that English helps you? So if anybody wants to answer, you can unmute yourself and then answer.
Miss, to communicate with our recruiters well.
Okay. May I know your name?
Ma'am, Arijit Bandyopadhyay.
Orijit. Orijit, you are from which school?
Ma'am, DAV.
DAV. Okay. So you feel that English as a communication language is important, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Means the mode of communication, the language in which you will be communicating with others is English. That is why English is important. Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
points from any one of you? Means you can try. Any other points?
If we speak in English, then it feels like that we are educated or we are having little bit of extra knowledge. That can be also point.
Okay. What is your name?
Ma'am, Anmol Kumar Gupta.
Okay, Anmol. Anmol, it is not exactly the way you are thinking. Means if we are speaking in English, we are educated, and if we cannot speak in English, we are uneducated. This is not
No,
the fact.
ma'am, that does
Okay.
not make sense. But people think that yeah, means he is little bit educated or he speaking English that he is having great knowledge in that subject. It feels like that.
No, actually, what happens is, Anmol, you can mute
Ma'am,
yourself. Yes.
can I speak?
Yeah, definitely.
Ma'am, if we learn English or if we master in English, and further when we will talk to our clients, means when we will talk to any other foreign people, it will be easy for us to communicate with them.
Okay, Udayan. Udayan, you can mute yourself. Let me have a talk on it. Okay, so what Anmol said was not actually very correct. Okay, so it doesn't feel that if we are speaking in English, we know everything, and if we cannot speak in English, we do not know anything. It's not the point. Actually, the point is English. What Udayan said is almost bullseye. Okay, so what happens is we need a common language to communicate with different people we are dealing with. Right? So that common language is English. Because here we speak in Bengali, we speak in Hindi, which is unknown to many of the foreigners or to many people who lives in other countries. But English is such a language, it is the lingua franca. Now, what does lingua franca means? It is the connecting language. It's a global language. English is used almost all over the world. That is why English as a language to communicate with others is important. That is why when you are here in the engineering college, you are focused that you will be engineers in future. And what is the job of an engineer? You will be joining corporate sectors, you will be dealing with different clients, you will be put to different projects, you will be transferred to different areas of the world. Means like from Tata to Timbuktu, you can be placed anywhere, right? So that is why we need a language which is understandable to almost all the people all over the world. That is why English as a subject, English as a language, it's important. And moreover, when you are giving your interviews, like in your 7th semester, your 6th semester, the language of communication naturally becomes English. Like you have vast knowledge. Now, this point is for Anmol, right? You have vast knowledge of the subject. Like you are doing your IT, that is information technology. You have many course papers there. You have a great knowledge of all the papers, right? But when you are asked certain questions on the subject on English, you will be unable to speak because you are not being able to communicate in English. That is where the problem lies. Means once you know the subject, that doesn't mean you will be proper in expressing. Right. So to express yourself properly, you need to be aware of the language. You need to be comfortable with the language. That is why from the very start of your career, means this is your professional career starts from here, first year. So this is the proper time where you should groom yourself, where you should be prepared to speak in English. Okay, many of you might have problems speaking in English. Many of you may understand English but feel a bit nervous in speaking in English. It happens because many of us comes from vernacular medium schools like Hindi medium, Urdu medium, Bengali medium. So how will you overcome? Only by practice. So from the very start, if you start practicing speaking in English, that will definitely make you perfect by the end of your final year. So you are prepared for the market. You are prepared to give yourself to the companies, those who are planning to hire you. So without the language, without English language, it becomes almost impossible for all of you to get through the interview. That is why English has been put as a major class in all your semesters. You will find English in every semester till your 5th semester. Okay. I don't know whether the classes have changed or whether you will have a changed syllabus or not, but till last year it was so. You had it in first year, you had it in second year, in third year, one paper you had in English. So it is very evident that English is important subject to learn. And what do you learn in English? It's not that you learn grammar. It's not that you learn sentences. It's not that you learn to speak. It's the overall thing that you learn. It's the presentation that you learn. That is why English has been given in your syllabus, right? So that you can groom yourself well. So that you can groom yourself well and present yourself well during the interview. So that was the importance of English language, right? So that is why we have so many English classes. You will have labs on English. You will have different sessions which will be conducted in English. So this is only the aim behind this classes. All these classes is to make you aware, make you perfect, make you groom before you are getting yourself prepared for the interview, because no other language than English will be entertained there, right? Now what we will learn today is one thing. The very first thing that we must learn before we start our classes, how to tell something about yourself. That is the basic of any conversation that you start with any people unknown to you, right? Like when I say you introduce yourself, what exactly do we mean by it? Means I want to know something about yourself. Okay, what you do during the interview means you are selected for the interview only after your CV or the curriculum vitae gets shortlisted. We will discuss about all these things in your later classes. Just let me be short and crisp. What happens is you are selected through your CV where you put all your details. Okay, suppose you are called in for the interview and the first thing that they ask you is, tell me something about yourself. This is the definite question that you get from the HR round. What is the HR round? The human resource round. There are many rounds before you get the job, right? So one of the round is HR round, which we take care of, means the humanities department. Okay, so what happens is usually the first question from the HR round comes like this: introduce yourself or tell me something about yourself. Now, why do they want to know about you when they already has your CV? Well, the answer is they want to see the confidence in you. They want to see how well you can explain about yourself. So what do? You should cleverly choose things that are not very much mentioned in the CV. Like, naturally, you will have to mention your name, right? So you can put down the points in a piece of paper if you want, because next class we will have a brief introduction of all of you, right? So what do you say? How do you start with the introduction? Naturally, you start with your name. So you tell your name and your hometown. That is the place from where you belong, right? Then comes your parents' name. Now this parent's name becomes optional. It is totally your choice whether you want to mention your parent's name or not. If you want to mention your parent's name, like I am the son of such and such, so you should be careful to mention your mother's name first and then your father's name. Okay, so I am, suppose somebody is Rahul, so I am Rahul from Asansol and my parents are Mrs. Such and Mr. Such and such. So always mention your mother's name first and then your father's name. That is the common culture of the corporate. Your mother comes first and then your father. Now this is completely optional. If you do not want to mention your name, you do not mention. Now remember one thing, while you are introducing yourself, do not tell anything other than name about your parents, because they are not interested to know what your parents do. Suppose your parents are doctors. You need not mention. Your father is an engineer. You need not mention. They are not interested to know what your father is doing, what your mother is doing, or what your siblings are doing. So you just focus on what you are. Right? So after your parents' name comes your qualification. Now, how do you mention your qualification? In a reverse chronological order. Now, what is reverse chronological order? The last comes first and the first comes last. That is, when you have done with your BTech, you start your saying your qualification by saying that I am a BTech engineer from such and such college. Yes, it is important to mention your school and college. Mention your class 12 and then class 10, right? After your educational qualification, you come to your professional qualification. If you have any, means if you have done any other courses which can help you professionally, you can mention that. After your professional qualification comes your achievements. Now, what are your achievements? I stood first in class 1. That is not your achievement. But suppose you have got a certificate on certain areas, then you can mention it. That is your achievement, other than your education qualification. Like in means you have won a certificate in swimming state championship, so you can mention that, right? Then comes your hobby. Now, what about hobbies? You cannot say that I love to watch TV. Okay, that will affect negatively. That will create a negative impact on the person who is listening to you. So saying something, the hobbies which will interest them, like I love to read books. Now remember, when you're saying that you love to read books, you should remember that is an open-ended thing that you are saying. Why? Because that will arise more questions. Like if I'm saying that I love to read books, they can ask me questions like, what kind of books do you read? So if I say I love to read novels, so what is the last novel which you read? So this continues. So you should be clever enough to answer these, or you should be prepared to answer these. So you can say your hobby as means I love to play a guitar. That can be a good hobby. Or I am a good singer. I love to spend my time when I'm not doing anything. I love to sing. That is also good. But you cannot say that I love to eat or I love to hang out with my friends. No, that cannot be a proper hobby. Right. So after your hobbies comes your aim in life. Now, aim in life are of two types. One is short-term goal and the other is long-term aim, means your ambition. How? Your short-term goal can be, I want to become a BTech engineer. So that is very obvious. Once you are into the BTech degree college, you will definitely become an engineer. Never say, I want to become a good engineer. They can ask you, what is the difference between a good engineer and a bad engineer? Okay, so you can say that what are your dreams actually? Means after they can understand, or it is taken that your aim, your short-term aim is to become an engineer. What after that? What exactly you want to do in your life? Actually, I know this is your just your first year and it's very early to decide, but still I'm just letting you know what kind of questions can arise when you are introducing yourself. Right. So when you are speaking about your ambition, be clear of exactly what your vision is. Okay. Then comes your negatives and your positives. Now, this is also optional. What is your strength and what is your weakness? When you are mentioning your strength, you remember when you are mentioning your strength, you should remember that the thing which you are mentioning is really your strength. And you are not mentioning just because you have to mention. Right. Now, what are strength and weaknesses? Actually, that is inside or within you. You just need to inculcate it. Like somebody from here, like 80 of you joining the class, somebody might be a very good speaker. She or he might have won many medals and many trophies during debate or group discussion competitions. So that is your strength. You are a very good speaker. So you can focus on that. Right? And when it comes to your weakness, you usually do not mention weakness in that sense. Like you are very nervous. So you do not mention. Try not to mention. Okay, even if you are mentioning it, like I'm very nervous, I feel nervous when I face a lot of people around me. So the next question, the obvious question comes is, what are you trying to do to overcome your weakness? So you should be prepared with this answer also. Right. So this is the introduction, the way you should be introducing yourself to the people who are unknown. So can anybody repeat what are the points which I said to introduce? Okay, I will take one name. Just okay, Swati Das. Swati Das, please unmute yourself and just let the class know what are the points on which you will be introducing yourself.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Swati.
Hi, I am Swati Das from Asansol.
No. I'm not asking you to introduce yourself. I'm just saying that what are the points to mention for introduction?
At first, my name, then my
Yes.
parents' name,
No. Then from the place from where you belong. Okay.
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 Then
Your parents' name.
my parents' name. Then I tell
Okay. I feel that Swati is a bit confused. Swati, you can mute yourself. You can mute yourself. Okay. Udayan, can we have it from you? Udayan, are you there? See, he left the meeting. Okay, Ishika Prabhakar. Can you hear me? Ishika, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You can please repeat the points which I have
Ma'am,
mentioned.
yes, ma'am. Sure. Ma'am, you mentioned that for introduction, we should first mention our name, then from where we belong, and our parents' name. We shouldn't briefly describe about our parents. We should be very precise while introduction, and we should be very clever and smart, so that we don't get into the trap of like many questions of the interviewer. we should mention our hobbies very carefully so that we don't have to enlarge our qualities I have to read books
Okay. Then,
ma'am, then you mentioned that
Ma'am, can I tell?
um,
yes, who is it?
Ma'am, Nisha Jha.
Okay. You can give it a try.
Ma'am, first to introduce myself, I first
Hmm.
take my name, then my
Hmm.
hometown. After that, I take my parents' name. For that, I take my mother's name first and then father's name. After
Right.
that, I take the qualification in reverse
Hmm.
chronological order.
Good.
Uh,
Very good.
After that, ma'am, I give my profession qualification, and after
Good.
that, I give my achievement. After
Good.
that, hobby, aim in life, and in aim in life, I give two types of aim: first short-term goals, and after long-term goals. And then I give our strength, but I don't give my weakness because the much questions should arise for that thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice. Nisha, thank you
Yes,
so much for repeating. Thank you so much. Now
thank
you
you.
can mute
Thank you, ma'am.
yourself. Okay. So, all of you, I hope all of you had got the idea of how to introduce yourself, right? So, can we have somebody to introduce? Like Abhishek Chaudhary is there. We can start with him. Abhishek, can you introduce yourself?
Ma'am, my name is Abhishek Chaudhary and my hometown is Kulti.
Okay.
My mother name is Manju Devi Chaudhary and my father
Okay.
name is Bhavan Chaudhary. My qualification I have completed my 10 plus 2 through CBSE board. My school name is Prerequisite Public School. It is situated in Kulti and my hobby is to cycling. My aim is to become not a aim. My dream is to become a engineer, software engineer, or a software developer. And my strength is my parents. Uh, they support me very much. So thank you, ma'am. That's my intro.
Okay, a small piece of advice for all of you. Since you have joined the college and everybody is taking your prerequisite class, somebody is asking you to put on your video, somebody is on the mute, means somebody is saying that you can put off your video. But whatever you are putting as your display picture, please be careful about it. Right. So you can put a sober picture as your display picture. Means, see, I'm not interfering into your personal life. I'm just advising you as a teacher that when you are means when you are aware that all the teachers are seeing your display picture, when you are not putting on your video, so that picture should be a sober one, right? I hope Abhishek you got me clear.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. So you put a sober picture. So that is
Okay.
a request from my end or a
Yes, ma'am.
suggestion
I
from my
understand.
end.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay. Another thing I would like to say that when you are speaking about your strength and weaknesses, just get it clear. Any person or Almighty God, Allah, Bhagavan, they cannot be your strength. Right? Strength and weaknesses are the qualities or the disqualification which you have within yourself. You will be gradually learning about your strength and weaknesses in your second year as you will be taking the classes. But for today, I would like to say that you need to work on it to understand your weaknesses and strength. I know you are too young to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. But for today, what I can say is to be very clear that whatever is within you, that is your strength. Whatever fear you have within yourself, that is the obstacles are your weaknesses.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So, no, you can mute yourself. Okay. So, that is what I would like all of you to understand that you need to know that anything which becomes your strength is your quality. Okay, my best friend cannot be my strength. She can be my support. Okay, she can be my alibi, but she cannot be my strength. Strengths are the qualities which we inculcate within ourselves, the positive qualities. Like I can say that my strength is that I am a person who can make friends very easily. Okay, I am a person on whom people can depend. That is my strength. I am a friendly person. Okay, you can depend on me. You can share your secrets with me. That is my strength. And if I say that my weakness is I become lots of unknown people in front of me, I cannot speak. That is my weakness. That is my obstacle to my strength. Okay, so that becomes your strength and this becomes your weakness. You cannot say that I have my little brother at my home and he is my weakness. No person can become your weakness. No person can become your strength. They can become your support. They can become your dependence, but not your strength or weaknesses. Okay, so know it from me. I know means many of you had the concept that any person who is supporting me in my life or growing up or doing any positive things in my life, they become our strength. No, that is not true. Gradually you will understand the qualities which I just spoke of, the qualities that you have within yourself, which you need to polish, which you need to inculcate, which you need to practice. They are your strength. Like somebody is very good in maths, I can do the sum in just few seconds, which others take 3-4 minutes. That is my strength. Okay, so I can convince people very easily with whatever I am saying. That is my strength. Understood? So these are your strength and your weaknesses. So you are too early to detect your strength and weaknesses. I can understand. You have just crossed your threshold of school, and till school you stay in a very protective place, like guided by your parents, your elder sisters, brothers, relatives. Now you have stepped into a wider world, a wider area where you will be introduced to many new things. There you will realize what are exactly your strength and what becomes an obstacle to your growing. That becomes your weakness. And what can you do about it to reduce your weakness or to get rid of your weakness? Right? So that is all about strength and weaknesses. So we are almost done with the class for today. And I hope all of you did like the session. So next week we are again meeting in the same time. I don't know whether the time will again change or not. So till then, have a nice time. Do all your classes and be good to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.